Previously on the scammer who fell for his victim's daughter. David confesses, gets confronted by Danielle and Anita, but instead of arrest, they reveal he passed their test. Tunde, the Yahoo gang leader, appears in the shadows. As David knelt down in front of Anita and Danielle, he was grateful he wasn't in handcuffs, but that was when the twist came. The door creaked. Tunde entered the living room like a ghost, quiet but dangerous, with black shades, no smile, and big chest reflecting his bossy personality. "Omo, na here you dey hide?" he asked, holding up his phone. Then he handed it over to them. On the screen was a full video of David bragging in the past about one of their biggest scams. But of course, he wasn't just referring to any kind of scam. He was referring to Anita and Danielle. He bragged about how his plans of getting back at Anita by targeting her daughter was perfectly coming to place. Anita's smile dropped. David had said a lot of nasty things about them in that video while his gang hailed him. David shut his eyes in embarrassment. Tunde chuckled. "I know they talk too much. You wan form saint abi? If no help us wire that NGO account where your madam dey work for, I go scatter everywhere." David froze. All the progress he made gone? That night, David couldn't sleep. He paced the boys' quarters in Mr. Ekene's house, chest tight. He knew Tunde would ruin him, but if he cooperated with the police, his life was also at risk. Without a second thought, he called Danielle, but to his surprise, she picked. She didn't utter a word. "I don't know what to do," he lamented. "You will do what's right, and we will protect you," Danielle replied calmly in a strange tone. Then she hung up immediately. Turns out Anita's NGO had deep ties with cybercrime detectives. They had been watching Tunde for months. But all they needed was an insider. So David agreed to help. Operation Wireback began. Now, David was planted back in the Yahoo gang. He pretended like he was back for good. The crew welcomed him like the prodigal boy. Tunde, suspicious but convinced, let him back in. Meanwhile, David wore a hidden mic and tracking chip, all wired to an undercover agent posing as a barman across the street. He leaked information about their accounts, their new targets, this time a co-owner of one of the biggest companies in Lagos, and even their fake fintech app. But one day, Tunde brought a crazy suggestion to the guys. He wanted them to use Danielle as bait. David didn't allow him to finish what he was saying before he launched out on the table beside him in anger. "Never again mention Danielle here, ever, Tunde," he warned with a dangerous tone. His eyes were darkened, but he didn't miss the brief fear in Tunde's eyes. "And what if I do?" Tunde challenged boldly, not wanting to look ridiculed. David almost slapped him in the face that day, if not for Kosi, Tunde's wife. Tunde looked at him, pained and betrayed. "Why e be say you dey always over-defend that girl?" The anger in his eyes could not be wiped away. As David hissed and walked away, something dark brewed in Tunde's mind. He wouldn't let David off that easily. He had just ridiculed him in front of the whole gang. He could see how the boys tried to hide the smirk on their faces. David became an hero in their eyes for confronting him like that. It was raining that night. Danielle started to crave suya as she watched TV in the living room, so she sneaked out to get them. Because she knew her mom was strictly against it. She walked down the lonely path listening to music and chatting with David. Suddenly, a car came from nowhere and pulled up fiercely beside her. The men in black came down and bundled her into the car and sped off to their hideout. Only her suya and phone were left in the spot. The next day, while searching for her, David found the suya and phone on the road and knew immediately that Tunde had done something. But he knew where they took her. He called Tunde and told him he was ready to do anything he wanted. So Tunde told him to come over to their hideout. David ran to their hideout immediately, but he had alerted the police already. At noon, police vans unexpectedly surrounded the hideout. It was like Nollywood, serene, loud gunshots and shouts everywhere. Tunde wanted to escape through the back, but slipped on a sachet water nylon and fell straight into a gutter. David was pulled aside quickly and protected. Tunde and his guys were bundled into the van. That day, David cried for the first time in a long time, not from fear, but from relief. It felt like a heavy burden had been lifted up his shoulders. David was now working as a youth tech trainer for teenagers, teaching coding and digital skills in Lagos. Mr. Ekene had helped secure him a deal with a tech NGO, while Anita became his mentor. As for Danielle, she was his biggest cheerleader. They weren't dating yet, it was still too soon. He knew that if he stepped a foot in Anita's house asking for her permission to date her daughter, he would be so gone. One day, after his class period was over and he was about leaving, a student stood up and asked him, "Oga David, na true say you be Yahoo before?" David smiled. "I was lost, but I got lucky. Make una no follow my footstep. Na regret full that road." The boy blinked. "But you get fine babe sha." Laughter filled the room. At a tech youth conference in Abuja, David was speaking to a crowd about digital transformation when a strange man approached Anita backstage. The man whispered, "Tell David his brother said hi." Anita turned sharply, but the man had disappeared into the crowd. Anita pulled David aside. "Do you have a brother?" David's face went pale. "I used to. He was a very close friend, but we called ourselves brothers. We thought he died during court clashes in school." Just then, a call came in from an unknown number. He was quick to recognize the voice. "You may have left the game, but the game never left you." The call ended. David's eyes widened in shock. Danielle, who was standing by, noticed. "What's wrong?" she asked. David looked up slowly. Tunde may not have been walking alone. Thank you so much, Faves, for watching. If you enjoyed watching this, go ahead and subscribe now for more fun content like this. Like this video and share it with your friends. And feel free to drop a comment below so I get to know your thoughts on this video. Bye, and I'll see you in another one.